Hi, welcome to our monthly webinar. So our overall theme for this year is being proactive. So this webinar in particular is about how LGBTQ plus families can be proactive, especially in the hostile world that we're living in today. So my name is Ivy Grizzle. I am one of the attorneys here at Graceful Aging Legal Services. I just started about 6 months ago as an associate attorney, and it's been great. Our legal practice goes over or covers estate planning, probate, conservatorships, guardianships, and at the end of this presentation, our objectives are, for you to be able to do what needs to happen to protect your family of origin, or your chosen family, to be able to plan specifically for second parents and couples in regards to adoption and other legal matters, and also help transgender loved ones with legal acknowledgement. So what is estate planning? Generally, estate planning protects your family of origin, your chosen family, and your values. And every single person's estate plan is going to be different. So that's why we have such a general overview of what exactly the main goals of estate planning are, because the best way to protect your family is going to be different from the best way to protect my family, so on and so forth. So starting with protecting your family, the best way to do that is to update your wills and your beneficiary designations anytime something changes. So if you get married or get divorced, or you change your name, or someone in your family changes their names or pronouns, it is important to get these things updated in your estate planning documents and any beneficiary designations that you may have on any of your accounts. It's also important to correctly identify legal relationships within those estate planning documents. Another thing is securing second parent adoptions. In some states, if you are not the biological parent of a child, even though it was an IVF situation or an adoptive situation, if there is a same gender couple, the laws are not always in your favor. So it's important that you get those second parent adoptions. Another important thing is to secure name changes for trans children prior to turning 18. Once the child turns 18, it's a lot more difficult. So if you have a child who has already transitioned or has started to or wants to, and they want to change their name, it's a good idea to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that before they're an adult. And the last thing is making sure that your reproductive technology is covered by a contract. It might even be a good idea to store those embryos outside of Tennessee, or a state that might be hostile to your family planning goals. And this also is helpful with just how long do you want to store those embryos, where do you want to store them, etc. The next part of our estate planning protections is protecting real estate. So with this, you need to consider what property you purchased outside of marriage and what rights your deed leaves to the survivor. So you have to be very careful with this language, and it's just one of those things that people are not taught about, and they should be. People think that, or a lot of people think that just slapping someone's name on a deed is all that needs to happen, but you need to include right of survivorship language. Even if you're married and have coverage, you still need that right of survivorship language so that your share of the house passes to your spouse if you were to pass away, rather than your heirs. The next thing is to consider life estates for roommates or other people who are important, however your family is set up. If those things don't really fit in the confines of traditional family, it could be important to consider those additions to your deed as well. And also, if there's no obvious beneficiary for your real estate, you can consider gifting that real estate to a nonprofit that supports your values. And speaking of values, our last protection is your values. So be considerate of who you're purchasing from, whether that's small items or big ticket items, but especially for big ticket items. If you're dealing with real estate investments, dealing with doctors, it's helpful, and if not necessary, to work with people who respect you and people who are going to be affirming of whatever identities that you may hold. And also, last little nugget, to consider the insurance to protect people that you love. Your insurance beneficiaries are not required to be a biological or legal family member. You can have a life insurance policy that goes to a nonprofit upon your death. But that life insurance policy is another way to protect someone that you love, outside of what you would think of with wills, trusts, whatever. It's just another way to provide for your family or your friends after you pass away. So in conclusions, actions that you can take based on this webinar without an attorney are name changes, beneficiary updates on any of your accounts, continuing to support businesses that support your values, change your insurance beneficiaries or set up policies that will benefit people that you love, and consider who in your family or in your life that you want to benefit and how those things might change throughout your life based on your goals. We always tell our clients that estate plans should be evolving, especially if you're on the younger side and you have no idea how your family is going to change throughout your life. So it's important to, like I said at the beginning, be proactive, but also be flexible in how you are setting up your estate plan and going back every couple years to make sure, does this align with my goals? Do I still have the same relationships I did when I made this? Are there any new additions to my family, and whatever else might be applicable to you? So since this is pre-recorded, we're not going to have any questions, but we are going to post this to our YouTube. So if you do happen to see this and have some questions, feel free to comment them in the comments down below, or feel free to reach out to us if you would like to schedule a strategy session to go over any estate planning needs that you might have. Thanks.